Okay. All right. So we are live on Facebook and figuring all this out. Okay. So let me jump in here. So today's Wisdom Wednesday, every Wednesday in my Human Design Education Facebook group, I plan on giving some type of talk, imparting some type of human design wisdom, some education, always education. You know, I am a 5-1 generator. So I love digging in deep, really unpacking things, diving in. It's that first line in me. I love to dive in and understand the depths of things. And then the fifth line, the spreader of information and knowledge in me, wants to come in and just share it with all of you. Like I said, with anyone and everyone who is interested in human design, because it has made such an impact on my life. Okay, so today we're going to talk about just a general overview of the human design chart, because when you look at a human design chart, it can be a little overwhelming. It's like, whoa, there's a lot of pieces going on there, you know? So I want to break that down a little bit for you. And so you get a general understanding. So if you are watching this today or sometime in the future, this is a great video to start with. Okay. So in case you didn't know, human design was channeled, is the way I like to put it. It was channeled in 1987 by a man named Ra Uru Hu. He actually had a different name, but that was his name given to him by the entity that basically came into his body, and he downloaded all of this information. He calls it the voice. And you can take that for what it is. You could take it, you can leave it, whatever. The whole premise of human design is experimenting with it. Whatever I say and teach, this is not verbatim. All right. Human design teaches all about following your own inner authority. And that's what I love, by figuring out your own path, following your own inner authority, because only you truly know what is correct for you. We have been so conditioned to follow what everyone else says and what is correct for everyone else. And we'll talk about why that is in a little bit when we're going through the chart. But we are 9-centered beings, which you will see when I pull up the chart in a minute, and we are designed to follow our own inner authority. So always remember that whenever I'm speaking, if something doesn't resonate with you, that's okay. You know, take what works for you and leave the rest. That's pretty much my philosophy in everything. When I teach human design, I'm going to bring in some of the gene keys in this group. Natural health, I'm a huge proponent of natural health. So I have to talk about natural health, especially when I'm talking about the gates and the energy centers in the human design chart, because those are connected to physical parts of the body. And human design, one thing is, when I talked about authority, listening to your own inner authority, your inner authority lies in your body. It does not lie in your mind. Depending on how your chart is structured, your inner authority will lie in different energy centers or how you feel within the environment that you're in. But it's never the mind. It is the body that guides you. And it is in my humble opinion, when we take care of this physical form and develop a deep relationship with this form, this beautiful costume that we get to live in, that's when we're able to really understand our own unique selves and be our own unique expression. Okay, so I think that's about all I want to say now. If you have any questions, I'm a generator. I love to respond. So please drop questions below this video, drop questions in the Facebook group in general, start conversations. We are here to really build community, get to know one another, and help support each other on each of our individual paths and experimenting with this whole thing called human design. Okay, let me share my screen. Okay, here we go. Share. Okay, like I said, let's see, how do I start the slideshow here? Okay, so in theory, this slideshow should be up with me in a little corner, and you should see this beautiful human design mandala. So let's talk about what's going on here. Do I not have a cursor? Ooh, I don't have a cursor, so that's a problem. I may have to find a different way to do a PowerPoint in the future, but you know what? Bear with me. I will figure this out all as we go. Okay, so we have the human design mandala. And if you notice in the center of that, you have what we call the body graph. So it's kind of that outline of the body with the 9 different energy centers and the channels connecting all of that. So those white lines running through all the different energy centers. And then very often, so when you run your human design chart on my website, which is MalloryRiess.com, you can get a free human design chart on there. I'm going to show an image on the next slide of what that looks like when it pops up, but you won't see this mandala, this round circle with the different astrological symbols, all the numbers, and those, the hexagram symbols on the very outer ring. I think I have a child coming in. It's just me with my children right now. So usually when I do these Facebook Lives, we may get interrupted from time to time. So, you know, life as a mama. But anyhow, so let's talk about it. So the body graph is in the center. If you notice that first outer ring, that tells you all the different astrological symbols, right? The zodiac signs that we're so familiar with from astrology. And astrology is one of the main components in the human design system. So the human design system is a synthesis. It's a synthesis of ancient modalities and modern techniques. It's a synthesis of astrology, the Chinese I Ching, the Hindu chakra system, and the Kabbalah tree of life. Those are the ancient modalities that it pulls from. And then it also pulls from modern day quantum physics, epigenetics, astronomy, all in astrophysics. Astronomy and astrophysics kind of go hand in hand. But it pulls from all of those modern day sciences too. And it makes them into this beautiful synthesis where these ancient modalities that have survived for thousands of years and we still use them today. And all of this modern sciences that we've been discovering in like the last century, and bringing all of that together, it is just beautiful. And this is, when you look at your body graph, it is your energetic chart, how your energy is designed to flow and operate in this lifetime. So you will see the astrological symbols on the outside, on that first inner ring. And then if you notice that middle ring where it has all the numbers, those are the numbers of the gates. Hi, I'm doing a quick video, okay? Did you need something? Okay, can you go get it? Can you, I'm in the middle of a video right now, and remember I said I can't get you food while I'm doing my video. Can you go ask Arrow? A chance. Okay, I'm almost done with my video. You're gonna have to wait for Emma. Because look, mommy's doing a video right now. I can't, after I'm done with my video, I will make you a smoothie, okay? You can have the rest of your spaghetti. It's on the table, or you can sit here with me. Okay, that's my tea. You could have some of that. It doesn't have caffeine in it. Okay. So that middle ring, it has the gates, and those are the gate numbers. And if you notice, those gate numbers also correspond to numbers within the energy centers. So these numbers pull from the Chinese I Ching. And that very outer ring with all those black symbols around it, those are the hexagrams. Those are the hexagram symbols from the Chinese I Ching, which correlate to the gates, which are all those numbers in the body graph, in the different energy centers. I know that's a lot. And if I had my pointer that would work, that would be helpful too, because I know I'm like flying a little blind for you here. So, but basically the reason why we have this circle here is because when you have a mandala with your planetary placements, because it takes the planets into account. When we run a human design chart, you need your accurate birth time, place, and date to run a chart. And it pulls basically where the planets are, in what gate each planet is at the time of your birth. And it is the neutrino field that is flowing through the planets at that time that imprints on your energy. Basically gives you a little energetic imprint of how your energy is designed to operate at that time when you have fully exited your mother's body. So that's the mandala. Now let's dive in a little bit more and let me show you what happens when you run your chart on my website. So this is a little more traditional. A lot of different websites, when you run a chart, it'll look something like this. I have the colors. They're not the traditional human design colors for the different energy centers. If you notice in this previous chart, those are the traditional colors of the energy center. There's no great rhyme or reason for those colors. People speculate, but Ra never actually said this is why they're these colors. I don't think the voice ever actually told him why they were these colors. Okay, so back to my chart. So when you go onto my website, MalloryRiess.com, and you run your human design chart, you input your birth date, time, and place, it'll spit this out to you. So if you notice, I did Winona Judd because she's a beautiful singer, right? Okay, so this is Winona Judd's chart. And so in the center of this chart, again, you have the body graph. I have a little bit different of a background because I love the moons and stars, but you will see the 9 different energy centers. So these energy centers derive from the Hindu chakra system. You know, so many of us are very familiar with the 7-centered being, right? The 7 centers of the chakra system, the head, the third eye, the throat, we have to sneeze, the heart, solar plexus, sacral, and root center, right? Well, in 1781, we actually did a mutation as a species. We evolved. We didn't when you just look at us, we look like people from like the 17 and 8 and 19 and the 17, 16, all the hundreds before 1781. We look the same, right? But we're not. Energetically, we're not. We shifted. There was a shift that came into play, and we shifted from the 7 chakra system to this 9 chakra system, if you will. All right, that's a loosely, but we now call them energy centers. So we did an evolution, and really what took place during that evolution is 7 centered beings, the beings that were designed with the 7 centers, the traditional chakra system, they needed to follow an outer authority. That's one of the reasons why gurus, you always needed priests and gurus and people to lead you and tell you what to do and blah, 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 blah. That's because 7 centered beings in the traditional chakra system were designed to follow an outer authority. In 1781, that shifted, and we transitioned to 9 centered beings who are designed to follow our own inner authority. And the reason for this is because it's setting us up for a global transition. In 2027, there's going to be this underlying shift to the global energies. We can kind of feel that happening now, right? There's a lot of change in the world, and you can look at it through a negative lens or a positive lens. I actually see a lot of good coming our way in the future. It's shifting. There's a lot shifting. So that's where the energy centers come from. They derive from the Hindu chakra system, but they have changed, right? And now we are designed to listen to our own inner authority. We can learn from outer authority, but we put that outer authority, like I'm being an outer authority for you right now, we put that outer authority through our own filter, and through our own filter choose if that is correct for us or not individually. So we are no longer designed to be homogenized. So many of us, for all of humanity, it's been this homogenization process. We all want to be the same. We all want to look the same. We want to be the same. If you notice now, more and more people are truly wanting to embrace and be their own unique beings. So many mothers, I'm a homeschooling mom, so I'm around tons of homeschooling moms. And I love the homeschooling community because they see their child as each individual unique child. They're not trying to all, for the most part, these are the moms that I'm around, are not trying to all conform them to be the same. All right, so that's the energy centers. Now, what are all these? Let's talk about the gates. So the gates are those numbers in the energy centers. And these gates come from the Chinese I Ching. This is the Book of Changes. This is another one that's been around for centuries, like I think over 5,000 years. And I love the Chinese I Ching because it really talks about genetics. There's 64 gates, which goes in line. And obviously back 5,000 years ago, they probably didn't know much about genetics, but there's 64 gates that goes along with the 64 codons in the human DNA. All right. So there's so many connections here. And that's why we're able to connect the gates and the energy centers to different parts of the body, like I talked about earlier, or when I talk about each one in more depth, we'll also be talking about how we can support those things with natural health practices. But so all those numbers running around, those are the gates that come from the Chinese I Ching. And then we have the channels, which are those little white things. You'll see some purple, some pink, some just white. These are the channels that are that connect the different gates. And when you have a gate, like for example, if you look at the upper triangle, that's the head center, the top triangle, and then the upside down triangle right below it is the ajna. Winona Judd has the 61st gate of the head center and the 24th gate of the ajna center, both activated, and they're connected. So that makes that whole channel basically come to life, and it creates this quantum. So each gate has its own energy, but then when we bring those gates together and there's a full channel, it creates a quantum. This is where quantum physics comes into play, and creates a whole nother synthesized energy that is greater than the sum of its parts. That is all of human design. It is greater than the sum of its parts. So these channels derive from the Kabbalah tree of life. That's where the channels kind of come from and how they come into play and how their energies work. There's 36 channels in the human design chart, excuse me. Oh, okay. Okay. And then let's see. So we did the energy centers, the gates, the channels. So the astrology part of it, where that comes in. If you notice how I said before with the mandala, I don't have a mandala here, right? We don't have the circle around the body graph, but I have these two columns on either side. And if you notice, the purple column says the personality on the left, on the right-hand side, excuse me. Then on the left-hand side, the pink is the design. Now, what does that mean? So basically, human design is a binary system. We always take in account this and that. And this is where this binary comes from. So not only do we take into account the planetary placement at the time of birth, which is the personality. So when we look at the purple stuff, it's who we think we are. When we're using our mental plane, it's what we usually more associate with and who we think we are. So that's the purple column. And then, so that's the time of your birth. And then we have the design side, which is 88 degrees before the time of your birth. So remember how we had the mandala, it's a circle. We can break the circle up into 360 degrees, right? So you have your personality imprinted at the time of your birth. And then 88 degrees, when the sun is 88 degrees before the time of your birth, we have the design side. And these two activations together, they come together and they form a quantum. The personality side is something that we're more conscious of. It's our conscious, we can usually identify with it more and be like, oh yeah, that's me. Whereas the design side, this is the unconscious. And I said unconscious, not subconscious. It's unconscious. It's really hard to be aware of the design side more. That's a lot more elusive, right? It's not something like we're kind of suppressing or keeping underneath, where it's just like we're like completely unaware of it until we consciously try to become aware of it, right? So looking at your design side can sometimes really give a lot of insight into why you do the things the way you do them. And you're like, why do I keep doing that? Sometimes the design can give some really big key indicators as to why. Okay, and then if you notice, so we take that personality column and that design column and we map it onto the body graph. And that's why some of the the gates, if you notice, the gate will be activated and then there'll be like a line. Like if you look at the throat center, which is that top white square right at the throat area, she has the gate 16 on the left-hand side activated. And then so half of that channel is colored in. If you notice, if you follow that channel down, that is the splenic center, that triangle facing to the left, or excuse me, to the right. I get a little dyslexic sometimes. I really apologize. But that is the channel, excuse me, the splenic center is the triangle facing to the right. And that would connect to gate 48 at the top there. But gate 48 isn't active, so she doesn't have that whole channel active. It's just, we call that a hanging gate, when we just have one side of the channel activated or one gate that makes that channel activated. And it's in purple, which means if I look over on her personality column, I notice that top number says 16.1, and then it has the solar symbol, the circle with the dot in the middle. So that's where that maps to. Like, we're like, oh, okay, so gate 16 is activated because at the time of Winona's birth, the sun was in the 16th gate. And then that 0.4 means the line number. So each gate is then split up into 6 lines. So that it could be 16.1, 16.2, 16.3, 16.4, 16.5, 16, or 16.6. So those points are the line numbers. Everything gets, and things can get broken up even further down, even in smaller increments beyond the line, but that's beyond the scope of what we're talking about today. Okay, so I hope that kind of gives you a gist. Leave me questions down below. I'd be happy to answer them. Let's see. Let's talk about why some of them are purple, some of them are white, and some of them are pink. So the purple one means that it got activated on a conscious level, the personality side. So she's probably more aware that she's pretty much up in her head, right? She has her head center and her ajna defined, and it's defined on her personality side. So she's probably very much up in her head, I would assume. I don't know. I don't know the woman. And then she also has the sacral center, which is that second to bottom square, and the root center, which is that very bottom square defined. And those are purple, so they're all conscious definitions. And then she has her unconscious definitions, which is the G center, that the diamond directly in the middle there. And then the heart center is unconsciously defined. So that's that little triangle off to the side. And then she has her spleen and her solar plexus, which are those two bigger triangles kind of lower on that flank either side of the sacral center. Okay, so when you run your chart, you'll get something that looks like this, but it'll be custom to you, obviously. And then on the other side, then you have this big column all the way on the right that says like energy type, generator, strategy to respond, inner authority, emotional, and it kind of goes down the list. So one thing that you get when you run your chart on my website is that you will get customized videos for your energy type, your strategy, your inner authority, and your signature and not self themes. Those 5 things I give you for free because that is the perfect place to start working on yourself, if you will, via the human design. The whole thing is, and I'm going to do a more in-depth training and education around energy types and strategy and authority and a lot of these things on the side here. So stay tuned for that. But we can go really deep. Human design has so many different layers. I think that's a good place to end this. Feel free to head to my website, MalloryRiess.com. You can get your own, get your own thing, get access to the energy type videos, the strategy, your inner authority, your signature and not self-theme videos. You get those 5 videos for free. The rest of them, they are coming out in my Vitality by Design library and community membership. A lot, but I am building out a monthly membership where you can get access to all the different energy type videos, all the different strategy videos, different inner authority videos, different signature, not self-theme videos. Currently, I have all the definition videos done and the profile videos done. I am working on incarnation cross next, and that will be launching next Tuesday, June 6th. So if you're watching this after June 6th, it's there. I will leave a link in the description so you can follow that and get access to that. I make it super, super affordable because I want this information to get out to everyone. I truly believe that when we decondition and we strip away all the stuff that is not us, that has been homogenized in us from the outside world, from our caretakers, whatever it is, that when we show up and we feel and so in alignment and we are living our authentic self in alignment, that gives others the permission to do the same thing. And when everyone is simply living in alignment and loving deeply who they are, I truly believe this is fundamentally how we heal the world. All right. So I'm going to get out of here really quick and stop my screen share. Let me pop over to the Facebook screen. Give me hang on. I have 50 zip different things open. Oh, Lordy B. Okay, hang on. Let's see. Is that not there? I don't know. I don't know what's happening. I don't know what's happening. Hang on. Let me pull it up on my phone. Let me just make sure I don't have any questions that I can answer right now. And if not, we will hop off. If so, then I will, let's see. There's got to be a more, here we go. Okay. I don't think I currently have any questions. So if you got them, drop them in the comments. I'm going to pop off because I'm already at 30 minutes and I wanted to try and keep this a bit shorter. So maybe next time. All right. I love you all. I will see you later. Bye for now. We figure out how to end this. Oh, I cracked myself up. Hang on. Where am I? I thought I was going to say bye for now, but that doesn't seem like that's what I'm doing, huh? Let's see. I think I need to be over here. No, I'm over here. Okay. Now I'm leaving. I will see y'all later.